Hello again. So tomorrow I am going to be getting my first tattoo. And I am simultaneously really excited and really anxious. My anxiety's actually been pretty bad. I actually took half a Valium and I may have to take more. And it's awesome that I'm getting my first tattoo. Like, I'm super excited, really looking forward to it, but I'm anxious as fuck. I have a pretty good pain tolerance, so I'm sure I'll be able to handle it, and it's going to be like a pretty small tattoo, like a little 2-inch tall tattoo, so it's probably going to be okay, but I'm still nervous as fuck. Because, the closest thing I've ever done is, like, I've done piercings, but that's, getting poked with a needle straight through, is not the same as getting poked repeatedly, with a needle, so we'll see. And I'm not going to reveal what I'm going to get as a tattoo. I'm going to save that for another video. And also, as soon as I get the tattoo done, there will be a picture posted on Instagram, so if you want to see it, it will be there. On Instagram, I am Jen Oscuda, same as here, and I'll put a link to that in the video description. Also, I am part of the Treacle Tats Yahoo group, so I will probably I'm going to be posting that there as well. Let's see. So, I wanted to talk a little, I guess before I get on to the next bit, the tattoo I'm going to get is like right here. I'm going to get it right there. And it's a reasonably visible location, and I'm getting it there on purpose because the tattoo has some meaning, which I'll talk about after I get the tattoo. But it's something that I want to be able just to look at it. I want to be able to easily look at it and be reminded of what the tattoo's about. So I wanted to talk a little bit about like the process of finding the tattoo artist. Because I'm going to be getting the tattoo done by Brian Gillett over at Breakthrough Tattoo in Upland, California. So yeah. So there was a Treacle Tats, she in at least one of her videos, probably multiple videos, she's talked about how when somebody gets their first tattoo, it tends to be crap. Because when you're getting a tattoo when you're young, you just go to any old tattoo shop and get it done. And she's pointed out that good tattoos aren't cheap and cheap tattoos aren't good. And there is something to be said for that. So my journey started by just looking up tattoo shops in this area, right? So I found Yelp and I found listings of shops. And initially, I was actually looking at a different shop. I was looking at Empire Tattoo. And I even asked my sister for recommendations because she's got tattoos and she suggested Empire. So I go to Empire's website and the website is pretty garbage. Now that right there is a bit of a red flag to me because this day and age with everybody and their dog on the internet, you kind of, as a business, you need to have a website. It's just a requirement, really. And if your website is garbage, that tells me something about how much you care about your business, I mean, and if you don't know how to make websites or make good ones, you can pay people to do that. And when you're dealing with a website, like a tattoo shop, the only things you really need on there is you need to have the name, the address, the hours, the contact info, and then the artist portfolios. And you could even, and in lieu of a portfolio directly on the website, you could even link to the Instagram pages of your artists, whatever. So I'm looking on the Breakthrough website, and they do have portfolios, which you always, always, always want to go look up your artist before you go there. Like, you don't just want to walk into any old tattoo shop and be like, I want this, without ever seeing the person's work. And again, given that we live in the internet age, you can do this. You can go and look up the artist online. And if the artist is not to be found online, if they don't have an online portfolio, that's a bad sign. I don't know of any artist who doesn't, but that would be a bad sign. So, I was looking at the portfolio for these artists, and yeah, there was nothing there that made me go, wow. My reactions were like, on the high end, it was like, that's not bad, or that's pretty good, I guess. But there was never anything like spectacular. And then there were some tattoos and they were bad. And I'm just thinking, wow, you actually posted this on your portfolio? And honestly, I think the big reason why, well, there's two reasons I think why there are so many mediocre tattoos out there. One, people don't take the time to research tattoos and to see what's possible. So you get this idea that a tattoo is meant to look a certain way, and so people are willing to settle for a less than stellar tattoo because they got this idea that that's just how tattoos look, right? And, in the past, there might have been some truth to that based upon, the quality of the tattoo machines, based on, like, the technology of the era, the inks, the tattoo machines, the skill of the artist, whatever. I mean, because back in the day, like, you couldn't look up artists on the internet, and there weren't as many people doing it, so you just went to you went to the tattoo shop and said, I want that, The other reason for mediocre tattoos is cost. People want to save $1 on a tattoo. Well, if you do that, you're going to get a bad tattoo. Simple as that. The one that I'm getting, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself here, but yeah. So it's wanting to save $1 and just not wanting to take the time to research artists. Frankly, I really wish that people would really take the time to research their artists and stop going to crap artists. I mean, because if people stopped going to these crappy artists, they would be out of a job, and all that would be left would be the good artists, and there would be no more crap tattoos out there. Well, except for the fact that people are still going to buy tattoo kits on eBay or whatever and do it themselves. But that's another video. So once I saw the portfolio, that made me leery about going to Empire, despite the recommendation from my sister and despite the good reviews on Yelp. And that's why you don't want to look at reviews of the shop per se. You want to look at the artists. So I was looking at so the next shop I really spent time looking at was Breakthrough. And I go to look at their artist, and I look at the portfolio of Brian Gillett. The very first image of his in the portfolio, my reaction was, fucking A. This guy does traditional style work, and it is amazing. And I saw and then I saw the rest of the images in the portfolio, and I was like, that guy's doing my tattoo. Like, that was that, right? And since then, I've seen his Instagram and seen more of his work, and I'm even more excited about getting him to do my work. It's amazing. So, on the website, they have a contact form, so I contacted him, and I'm a vegan, so the ink has to be vegan. Now, I'm not going to get super crazy about insisting that every single aspect of the tattoo process has to be vegan, because apparently the transfer paper might not be vegan, but honestly, I'm not going to go to those levels because it's just too much hassle. I mean, just making sure the ink is vegan is good enough. So That's one of the things I asked, is the ink vegan? And initially the guy said, I'm not sure, I don't, I think he said, I don't think so, or whatever. So I asked him what brand of ink he uses. And he said, well, I know it's not, I use this one, but I know it's not vegan. And so I actually looked it up on the company's website, and I found their MSDS page where it actually says that it's vegan. So I replied back to that email, and I said, is this the one that you use, linking that MSDS page? And sure enough, that is, in fact, the one that he uses. And so it is, in fact, vegan. So if you're a vegan and you're going to get a tattoo, like, ask the artist what ink they use. Don't necessarily rely on them to know, because if they're not a vegan, they may not bother to check whether it's vegan or not. So go ahead and check that. And one of the things that's really important when you're dealing with tattoos or piercings, for that matter, is feel free to ask the person anything about the process. And if the person doesn't want to answer all of your questions, that's a red flag. Or also look at their answers, like, what do you see how they respond? Do they seem like they're happy to answer your questions, or are they like responding in a kind of a snarky way? Like, even though I was educating the guy, and somebody could have responded with the attitude of like, well, I'm the tattoo artist, I know this stuff, you don't, blah, blah, blah. His response was like, oh, I didn't know that. And so he seemed, and he definitely didn't seem put off by me, like, educating him on the fact that his ink was vegan. And I double checked that the ink was vegan, because if he wasn't going to be able to do my work, I wanted to be absolutely certain he wouldn't be able to do my work. And then the other thing that I asked was, I also asked for a price estimate. Now, as my understanding is, the way prices work with tattoos, it's not like a piercing where, it's like nostril piercings is $40 or whatever. They have a shop minimum, so that's the minimum amount you're going to pay regardless of how long it takes them to do the tattoo, and then they have a per hour fee. So I explained to him that, okay, this is what I want to get as a tattoo, and it's going to be about 2 inches tall, and how much is that going to cost? And he quoted me the shop minimum of $100. And so, where was I? Okay, I'm losing my train of thought here. But yeah, so yeah, that's gonna cost me $100, which is not cheap, but it is absolutely worth it. And what you want to make sure and do is keep in mind that this is just an estimate. It may cost a little more depending on how long it takes. Now, if the artist has been doing this for a long time, they're going to have a pretty good idea of how long it'll take them to do the tattoo. So the estimate should be pretty good, but you never know. And also, I don't know if there's any kind of other taxes or fees or anything involved. So I'm kind of expecting it to cost me more than $100, a little more, for taxes or whatever. So if you're saving up money for a tattoo, make sure that you can afford to pay more than whatever the estimate is, just to be on the safe side. So I can do that. And, me being, the low income sort that I am, yeah, dropping $100 on a tattoo, that's a decent little chunk of money, which means that I'm not gonna, there might be other stuff that I might have wanted to buy this month that I'm not gonna be able to. So, but, it's gonna be awesome having a tattoo. And so I'm really confident that my first tattoo is going to be a good one, because I picked a good artist rather than just going to any old tattoo shop. And honestly, like, to go to a good artist, you might have to travel a little ways, but it's totally worth it. I mean, it's not worth it to just go to the nearest tattoo shop just so you can get a tattoo. No, you want to get a good tattoo. That's one of the things we all need to strive for, is getting good ink. We want to show the world what's possible with tattoos. We need to stop with all these crap tattoos. Like, crap tattoo artists need to become extinct. Now, I understand that, not every, that you have tattoo artists that are brand new and they're apprenticing and whatever. But some of these people, it's just like, wow. Like, before you even become a tattoo artist, you need to kind of be an artist first. And also, I've heard of tattoo artists, like, practicing tattooing on, like, pieces of fruit, like grapefruit or whatever. So there are ways to practice that don't involve human flesh. And, and I think these days they even actually make, like, fake, human flesh specifically for tattoo practice. So yeah, there's really no excuse for these, crap-ass, tattoos. So yes, that's kind of the takeaway here. Just go to a good artist. And if you can't afford to go to that artist, right now, save your money. And I understand, especially if you're young, you're going to get excited and go, ooh, I want a tattoo, I want a tattoo. If you want to have something done, but you can't afford a good tattoo, go get a piercing. Piercings are cheaper, and it's something you can get done if you want to do body mods. But don't just go get any old stupid tattoo. Like, actually take the time to go to a good artist. And so, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a little vlog so I don't know if I'm going to actually be filming any of the tattoo process itself, because I haven't asked the guy if it's okay to do that, because you always want to ask the artist if it's okay to do that. Don't just whip out your camera and start recording. And given my anxiety issues, I don't know if I'm going to be able to have the wherewithal to be like, hey, can I record some of this? I hope I can get some footage, but if nothing else, I'll probably do like a little bit of recording, like in the morning as I'm doing my makeup or something. And also, I'll do a little bit of recording, like right before I walk into the shop, and then, of course, after I get out. And if I can do a little bit while I'm getting tattooed, that would be awesome. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. And because it would be really cool if I could actually get some footage of my first tattoo. Both footage of, the tattoo itself being done and, like, footage of my face to see, like, how I handle the pain. Because that's going to be something really interesting, because I have a pretty good pain tolerance. So it might be one of those things where maybe the pain just isn't that bad. Or it could also be where the pain is just really excruciating. I don't know. Honestly, one of the most painful things I've ever had was upper lip electrolysis. Oh, that's so bad. So, and yeah, if I can handle some upper lip electrolysis, I suspect I could probably handle a tattoo right about here. So we'll see. And given the size of the tattoo, I'm imagining it's not going to take that long to do. So we'll see. Oh, and this is the other thing too. When you first get your first tattoo, it should be a small tattoo, because you have no idea if you're going to be able to handle the process. And you don't want to end up with like a big tattoo that you're not going to be able to finish because you just decide, fuck this, I'm not doing this ever again. So start with a little one and see if you like it. See if you can handle the process, and see if you like being tattooed. Because if it turns out that you don't like being tattooed, then it's just a little small tattoo. My sister has one of my sisters has a tattoo on her lower back that's the only tattoo she's got. She's never doing that again. And so she's just got the one tattoo, and there you go. So it you know, it can happen. So you definitely, you know, start off small. If you don't like it, then you're not stuck with all this ink that you're just going to be hating. So yeah, I think I've been rambling on long enough, but I will go ahead and yeah, I'll go ahead and put links in the video description. I'll put a link to the tattoo shop, the artist Instagram, my Instagram, the Treacle Tats, to her YouTube channel because I love her videos, and also to her Facebook group in case you want to join that and talk about tattoos. And so, and yeah, and I guess I will see you tomorrow, and hopefully I will get the vlog video posted tomorrow, and we will, and I guess I will see you later.